Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and today I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Sagittarius. If Sagittarius is your solar, lunar, ascendant/rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. See what these tea leaves have to say today. My goodness. It has been raining all morning and it is so pretty out. We took a nice long walk. And so I hope you also are able to get out and enjoy whatever weather you have. Of course, it might not be raining. But I can see you are on a journey. And before I get into that, I just want to mention our card today is the Three of Wands. And this has everything to do with patience, overcoming obstacles, kind of making decisions based on clarity, having a vision going forward. Okay, so we have this beautiful boat right here. And I know somebody told me what this is called. And so I'm terrible at remembering names of things. But it reminds me of a Spanish warship. And these were, 1700s, 1800s. And they were, pretty. They had the high top and the high back, and they were made to kind of cut through the current. When I see this kind of boat, I see a lot of different boats in the symbols. Throughout all my readings, we have. Sometimes the paddle boats, and sometimes we have more of like a sailboat. That's one I see often. But when I see this boat, it makes me think not that you are at war, right? But that you have a clear understanding of where you want to go. There's a lot of intentionality in your decision making, okay? You definitely have studied, researched, looked at all of the variables, and you know exactly how you want to get through those kind of rough waters, okay? These are also kind of ramming boats. They used to use them to ram the sides of other large ships, and I'll probably get in trouble for calling it a boat. I know these are ships. And I know there is a difference, but anyhow, they were used to kind of pierce holes, right, in the I'm gonna say the bow of a boat. I don't know if that's right, but in the side of a boat, so it would take on water and it would sink. So again, I don't think that you're in like this kind of warring mentality, but I do think that you are meeting any kind of resistance, any kind of obstacles head on. Okay, you are not being taken by them, right? They're not going to slow down your progress. You are moving forward. Okay, and then as I turn this, we have another boat. This one almost looks like more of a modern boat. It has a little wheel right there. And we have a person sitting here, and we have a bird kind of flying ahead. And this one really makes me think that there is a lot of movement. You are not staying in whatever situation you are in. If this is work, domestic, family, romantic, whatever it is. Something has changed, and you are you're in your vessel cruising, right? It maybe is a spiritual vessel. It does not have to be physical. You don't have to actually be leaving or anything. But we think that however things were kind of configured before, you are making a change. It's not working for you. It's time to kind of do something different. Maybe this is switching up your routine, maybe moving. I don't know, but it seems like something something came loose and you were just like, I absolutely am not going to do this anymore. I'm done. And I'm going to take, my efforts and my good fortune, my beautiful, clever mind, body, soul, and get going, right? Not getting kind of muddled there with all of the whatever it is, that was going on, things that were misaligned. So often we kind of just stay, don't we? Because things are familiar. It's hard to kind of, get up the courage and do the planning, find all the resources, all the things that have to align for us to make a big change in our life. I am terrible with this, but in the last, I guess, I don't know, 5 years of my life, lots of changes. Having a child is the biggest thing. It never is the same. Even just a year ago seems like 5 years ago, 10 years ago. It's like things have changed so much in this 1 year that there is no, keeping up with all of it. But at the same time, I still am resistant to change. I don't know if I'll ever get over that kind of instinct to push back and be like, I just want to stay in this one little, safe feeling place, although it's not working, right? I'm agitated. I don't have enough time in the day. I need more help, whatever it is. But still, I don't want to change it because I'm here, I'm getting it done, but it's not, that's kind of I'm hitting my face with the thing, hit my glasses. It's like, it's delusional, thinking, right? And, even my husband, we gotta do something different. We gotta change the routine a little, again, but that's life. Things happen. And so I feel like you, not unlike myself, are in this place of big transformations, okay? Just figuring it out as it comes. But also, I think you have a big plan, and that's why we have that chip too. Where did it go? Wait, there it is. This way, it's a little bit, I was like, where did it go? Yeah, so this way. So we have the kind of battleship. Now we have the person sitting here. Okay, so, really within your own faculties, your efforts, your abilities, getting those fundamental things changed in your life, okay? And I've talked about this in other readings, that it's amazing how, especially when we're feeling like, I don't know, depressed, or it seems like everything is kind of, it feels old and we've been doing the same thing for so long and tired and, whatever, just changing some of your routine. Even, just what time you wake up in the morning, getting up a little bit earlier, going to bed a little bit earlier, getting up a little bit later, going to bed a little later, implementing something like a walk in the morning, doing some kind of like meditation, having time for reading, or getting your chores done in the morning before you go to work instead of when you come home. I know a lot of these things are hard and they don't work every single day, but just doing something different. Even, you know, coming home a different way from work feels different, doesn't it? So, you know, there are things that we can do. We just have to be proactive, right? We have to be willing to make these little plunges. Sometimes, you know, we go through life, we're waiting for something that forces our hand. We're waiting for something that we can't change. Like we have to change because we can't change the fact that it, you know, life is evolving, right? You know, for me, it was my daughter going to school. I couldn't change the fact that she was going to be doing that. I mean, I could, I guess, but, you know, that was inevitable. So a lot of things had to change. But, you know, within that, I have found other things that I can do for myself that I didn't have to change. But now I'm kind of like, I'm already a little bit loose from that routine that we had before. So I'm doing different things, like filming during the day now as much as I can. I used to film late at night, and it really has changed how the days feel, you know. And so just these little things can really help. I mean, help, but they can also just feel different. Maybe it won't work. So then you try again. You do something differently, you know, and I feel like, I don't know, maybe you're listening to this, you're thinking, obviously, this is so obvious, Lenore. But, yeah, I forget that I am in charge of my own life sometimes. And I can just do what I want. But, you know, it's interesting when we remember that. And we're like, okay, I'm going to try some other things. I'm going to do some other things. So we have a butterfly. So that, obviously, metamorphosis. We have this emotional space here. I feel like there's so much confidence in you this year, Sagittarius. I love the growth that I've seen in the readings these last, not only months, I mean, it really has been since like last January. I remember, I don't remember every reading, but I remember kind of just the arc of what's been going on. And, you know, I really feel like there's a lot more potential in your mind. You know, there's the perception of opportunities. You have the ability, the motivation, all of these things coming together, and you're making it happen. Okay, and that's a wonderful thing. I also see, and we have a horse with a person standing next to it, and it looks like the knight, one of the knights, right? And I was thinking, because of the legs, I was like, oh, those legs remind me of the disc, right? The Knight of Discs. So in this case, I would say, you know, there's also a lot of thought about the resources. How are you going to implement some of these changes? And I think that there is kind of at least the beginnings of trying to save, trying to put something away, aligning some, you know, if you're moving, that's expensive, you know, finding the next place you're going to live, thinking about, you know, all of the things that go along with that. And you know, just starting to really consider what is all of this going to take. Now, it doesn't have to be moving, but because we have the boats, I wonder if it's not some kind of movement. I also wonder if this doesn't have to do with changing jobs, or, you know, picking up an extra kind of gig, or, you know, starting a business or something. I know this time of year, we're all kind of getting ready for the holidays, and that's a big thing that we start thinking about. You know, there's a lot of expenses with that too. And so I know, even myself included, a lot of taking on some like extra, you know, things that can make some money. And, you know, maybe you make things, you sell them. Here we have tons of like harvest fairs and Christmas. I've already seen there's a bunch of Christmas, fairs going on, where you can go buy the handmade Christmas items and things. And so maybe this is something for you to think about. But whatever it is, I think that you are definitely, it's in your mind, right? That you are saving up for whatever it is that you are kind of transitioning to. Maybe school, that's another big one that comes up with these kinds of symbols. Moving into a new field, a new interest, kind of growing your skill set, right? Maybe some more specialization or niche. And so that's all those things are wonderful as well. And then we have a bird sitting, and then we have a bird kind of flying over here. So I feel that this one reminds me of the hawks that show up in our backyard. Sometimes we have all these little birds, right? And the squirrels, and the hawk shows up, and I love the hawks. You know that I'm all about that hawk energy, but it does make my heart race a little bit. I think when the whole backyard goes quiet and there's nobody out there eating or, kind of jumping around the lawn or anything, I know there's either a hawk or a cat out there. One of the neighborhood cats that like to come around. And so, scoping out what is going to be your sustenance here, right? Looking for your inspiration, but also looking for your opportunity. You have your eyes on your goal, right? Or eyes on the prize. And so, and then I see this one looks like it's in motion, like it's up there flying, it's going after whatever this is. So I think you really are ready to, make those initial movements forward if you haven't already begun, right? And I feel like all of this is, divinely blessed. I think that all of these things that you have going on, you feel spirit in your life. You feel that kind of cosmic, blessing upon you. And, sometimes, right, we do things and for one reason or another, it just doesn't seem to be fitting well, right? Maybe ill-timed. This is not that. This is like one of those things where it feels like you just know, right? You're in touch with that intuitive nature. The universe is showing you sign symbols, kind of giving you the little wink, like, you're ready to go. You got this. Okay, so we have a person standing here, and I see up here we kind of have this beautiful, it looks like a trail of stars, and I really think that, this is all about following your desires, your wishes, your wants, okay? That kind of wishing upon a star. We can wish upon the stars all we want, right? All day long, all night. Well, I would say all night long, I guess. All night long. But we have to begin the process ourselves to make our dreams happen. They aren't just going to be handed to us. But I do think that, if you set manageable goals, right? You maybe have big dreams, set manageable goals, meet those things. You build that confidence, momentum, and then, I really think that we get into that alignment with the universe where it does really start showing up for us in ways that are way more perceivable than if we just kind of hope for something and just kind of wait. Just wait for this thing to happen. I don't think maybe it works that way for some people. I don't know. But I do think that, there has to be that activating force. And that has so much to do with the energies we put into the things that we want and want to accomplish. All right, so we have these divine doors. I like these cards so much. I cannot tell you how much I've been enjoying using them. They're really pretty, and I have just an affinity for doors anyways. I like really love that imagery. So when I found these cards, I was like, okay, I need those. Okay, and I'm just gonna stop where it feels right. Here we go. These ones are really pretty. Looks like a temple. Patience. Everything soon will come to light. And then you will see things. And then you will see things will be all right. My head, I was like, does that make sense? Yes. And then you will see things will be all right. Yeah. So those little worries, those little second guesses, and if something's not going according to our plans, or how we expected them to work out, but we adjust, and that's the thing. It's about being as flexible as we can be. Although I think it's so important for us to have goals. And I emphasize the manageable goals. Things that we within reasonably can accomplish. Of course, we need big goals as to long-term goals, but I'm a strong believer in having and this sounds terrible, but just having lower expectations, but going above and beyond with ourselves. Okay. And it's not that I don't think that we shouldn't strive to be as best as we can, with whatever, or to get all the things, or, none of the things, or whatever is important to you. But I think that expectation is the killer of dreams. It really, it makes us rigid in a way that we just expect of the world, expect of ourselves, and it limits, the potentiality of, what we can do. If we have low expectations of things, we can go in any direction, and we are often surprised, right? And everything kind of feels like a gift, kind of feels magical and special, because we didn't expect that. All right. So I want to go ahead and say thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such a pleasure. If you would be so kind as to like the video, it helps us get into the algorithm, and the algorithm kind of decides everything about everything about everything. And so we like to make it happy by giving it the engagement that it wants. Things like liking the video, sharing the readings on other social media platforms, watching the readings from the beginning to the end. All of these things are super helpful. If you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. And we just hit 18K subs. So yay to all of us here at the Ula Tea Leaf Readings community. Thank you all so much. And what's the other? Oh, and if you want to leave a comment, please do. I read all of them. I try to get back to each and every one of them. Sometimes it takes me a while. Sometimes I fall a little short. But I do read them all, and they all mean so much to me. So I want to thank you, and we will talk in just a few days.